CACTV back again. It is now May 2025 and April is over, so we're going to talk about the bikes, the top bikes that were featured in April 2025. Let's get into it with bike number 5, and that bike is a 20-inch Bulldog Black Star sent in by Olaf. Big shout out to Jimmy Mack, rest in peace my dude Jimmy Mack. I really love that people are submitting their Bulldogs to keep Jimmy Mack's memory alive. So big shout out to Olaf for that. This is another classic Bulldog bike. It's a white Bulldog Black Star with the red Bulldog logo on it. Also has some black forks on it, black stem, black handlebars. Pretty much black is the offset color. Got a white chain on there. Nice looking bike and definitely a cool tribute to my man Jimmy Mack. Olaf says he's from Frankfurt am Main in Germany, and Frankfurt has the nickname Manhattan. This fits very well to a bike from New York. He bought the frame from someone in Poland a few years ago, and he said he likes the frame because the rear end looks fine and the geometry is very good. Unfortunately, he didn't know Jimmy Mack McNeil personally, but he chatted with him a few times via Messenger. He was a really nice guy. It's a shame that he didn't get to meet Jimmy in person, and he will treasure one of his bikes. So big shout out to Olaf all the way out of Germany for representing and submitting this bike, man. Really appreciate that. And if anybody else has a Bulldog bike, definitely send them. You can never send too many Bulldog bikes. We want to keep Jimmy's memory alive, and if you have a Bulldog, maybe you have a frame sitting in your house, put it back together, make it look real nice, submit it to sugarcane.com. I got the link in the description, so you guys can go ahead and do that. Just follow the directions and make it happen. But definitely we want to see more Bulldog bikes this year represented on Bike of the Day. So we got the Bulldog Black Star with the Euro bottom bracket, 21-inch top tube. You got the Ritchie Logic headset on there. S&M pitchforks, can't go wrong with S&M pitchforks. You have the Atom Lab stem with the S&M Bikes top cap. Here's a side view of the stem. I really like the way that looks, pretty dope. You got the S&M slam bars, another item that you can't go wrong with. S&M slam bars are some of the best handlebars in the game. ODI long neck grips, Shimano Dior brake lever, 180mm DK cranks, a 44 tooth sharp race sprocket, KMC Z.83 chain. You got the Selly Italia Flight titanium seat, Odyssey intact 25.4mm seat post, and then you have a kink seat post clamp. Got the Maxxis tires right there. Here's another look at the Atom Lab front load stem, and you have the Shimano Dior rear brakes, Atom Lab air comp pedals, and you have the Atom Lab 36S rims, and the hubs are Atom Lab air comps. Lots of good treats on this bike right here. I know Jimmy Mack would be proud if he saw this one right here. So nice job Olaf on building this one up, and big shout out for you for submitting this one to the site. So real quick, let's check out the ratings on this bike. It's a 2003 Bulldog Black Star, and it's got the total color score of 7.35, originality 8.07, parts 7.45, overall style 7.52, giving it an overall rating of a 7.6. Last two people to rate this bike was Roy Washington Jr. He gave it an 8.6, and Cam gave it an 8 across the board. And you can also put your reaction in. You can also give it a thumbs up. We have some commenters here, so come back to the site and check out the comments. We got comments from Roy Washington Jr., Brian Compton. You can also add your comments to the comment section here too, to keep the conversation going about Jimmy and his bikes. Coming in at number 4 is a 2020 Mongoose Fireball sent in by Roy Washington Jr. Big shout out to Roy, who's also a member of sugarcane.com. And yeah, we finally get to see another Mongoose Fireball on the Bike of the Day feature, and also a dirt jumper, just in general, a dirt jumper on Bike of the Day. Definitely want to see more dirt jumpers. I know there's a lot of really nice builds out there. You see them on Instagram and all over the place, but it'd be cool if I can get some submitted to Bike of the Day, because I know people want to check them out, hear the story behind them, and put their, review in for them. So that'll be pretty cool. So this bike right here has the raw color scheme going on. You got the raw color scheme, a little bit of gold, a little bit of black, a little bit of teal aqua color going on with the back rim. The bike has a lot going on with it. Let's check out what Roy had to say about this bike right here. He says inspiration for this build is the man himself, Lee Ramsdell. Not only does he manage the fastest AA Pro rider and team in BMX, but also still shreds on any bike here in sunny North Carolina. Originally the frame was orange and black. He took all the paint off to make it his own. Toby Henderson, my current Sendit sponsor, opens the door for box components to be dubbed on all my complete builds. He went with the colorway of aluminum raw and blue. Blue was his father's favorite color, and some yellow, white, and black highlights on the down tube to include a box oversized sticker and yellow Adidas sticker because he rocks Adidas flats and clipless 510 shoe for 2005. That was a long sentence. He also has a Riveter sticker that is pink and white and blue, and also an NC Airlines trail sticker that he got in Charlotte, North Carolina to represent the two places that he DJ visited recently. This dirt jump build is special to him, and he hopes to invite Al King down to sunny North Carolina so we can ride the DJ trails here in North Carolina. Yes, that's right. I got to get down there to North Carolina, link up with my boy Roy, and get some laps in at all the spots. I want to check them out. So yeah, Roy, this year I got to get down there. And thank you for submitting this bike. Can't wait to see it in person. So this is Mongoose's team manager Lee Ramsdell's old Mongoose Fireball, which was originally an orange, and is stripped down to that raw colorway for Roy. He's got the SRAM RockShox DJ Pike Black forks. He's got a Cane Creek tapered headset. His stem is a Temu special. It's a 38mm aluminum OS gold stem with TI bolts. He's got the ODI flight control handlebars in blue, box ODI lock-on grips, hydraulic Shimano brake lever, 175mm box 3 cranks with a 19mm spindle in black. He's got a Shimano rear disc. He got the Core Riviera disc rims in the back. The drive side rear chain tensioner is a Core chain tensioner, box 2 tires. In the front he has a Spoon DJ wheel set with a 20mm quick adjust through axle. The RockShox Pike DJ forks are right here looking real good. Here's another shot of his handlebars looking real fresh. See the colorway matches the actual knob here, which is pretty cool. Here's a better look at the 20mm spoon hub in the front. You can also run disc brakes on the front if you want it with these hubs. And you got the Cro-Mag Overture seat and a box 2 alloy seat post in gold. Seat post clamp is a box OS quick release in blue. And that's pretty much it for this bike right here. It's a nice solid build with an interesting color scheme. Heading down to the ratings, we have a color score of a 7.81, originality 7.79, parts 7.89, overall style 8.24, giving this bike a total overall rating of a 7.93. Of course, you know, you, the people out there checking this out, are the ones who give it the ratings. Of course, I put in one rating to keep things nice and even from the start, but it's really up to the people to come and rate these bikes. And we have the latest two people to rate this bike. You have Penny Simmons, she gave it an 8.9, and Andrew Cohen gave it a 7.5. So once again, you can sit here and you can click the likes or click the unlike if you feel, depending on how you feel about their rating. You can click on the reaction, also click on the thumbs up. And we have some comments in here as well, so come through, check out the conversation, and if you would like to add to the conversation, please do. So now we are in the top 3, starting with bike number 3, which is one of my favorite bikes of this month. It's a 2020 Circuit BMX Rooster submitted by Joey Etris. Big shout out to Joey for submitting this bike. He's got some nice little details in here that I know that you guys are going to appreciate on this bike right here. So first of all, I love the matching colorway on the fork, the frame, and the bars. Everything else is black, but it also has some gold highlights in there and some nice finer details. Joey says, just for the love of BMX, always challenging himself to make a build stand out more than his previous builds, and attention to detail is a must. Shout out to Vic and Circuit BMX for keeping the Stoke lit in the New England scene and all around. So once again, this is a Circuit BMX Rooster with a 21.25 top tube. You got the 25th anniversary FBM PMA stem, which is looking real fresh. You also got an FBM headset, and you have the bolts that match the color of the brake cable and other parts of the bike. So this right here is a really dope custom feature. It's a custom Rooster brake cable strap from Mendo Leonardes. It brings an elegance to this bike right here with this little strap. Really cool feature. Here's another part that protects the frame from the cables when it goes back and forth. So this is also part of the cable strap system that he has. He's got 165 Animal Akimbo cranks on here. He's got a really cool gold bottom bracket cap right here. He's got that contrasting gold colorway to offset the blue on the bike. Really dope. He's got a Thompson Elite seat post, profile Slim Jim seat post clamp, a custom rooster seat, which is also made by Mendo Leonardes, Bergtech MK5 pedals. Never heard of these pedals, but they look really dope. Nice and big platform on these pedals right here. I'm loving the details of the Circuit BMX badge. Here's a better look at the wheel set. These are Odyssey Hazard Light rims, which are laced to a Profile Racing 55th anniversary totem hubs, and the tires are the Fly Rubin Rampera tires. These are 2.35 in the front, and he's got a 2.25 in the rear. Now check out this seat right here. I love this badge that they have on this seat. Really dope attention to detail on here. It also goes with the brake strap and also the frame protector that's on there. So this really takes his bike to a whole different level. And here's a better shot of the FBM stem with the FBM top cap, and you also have the bolts here that are done in that same gold colorway as everything else. So this bike is totally color coordinated. Definitely have to give props to the color coordination on this bike right here. A real dope contender for bike of the year in my opinion. I think this can definitely be a contender for bike of the year in one of the categories that we have going on. And last but not least, you have the S&M Credence XL bars, which are cut down to 28.6 inches. So the color score on this bike is a 7.89, originality 7.85, parts 7.91, overall style 8.12, giving this bike a total rating score of a 7.94. Danny D gave it all 10s. Roy gave it a 7.37. So once again, if you guys are watching this and you want to rate this bike, definitely come back to sugarcane.com. Give this bike a rating. So bike number 2 definitely is in the running for most unique bike of the year for sure. And this one is another gem sent in by David Ramey. He hooked up a Torca Barbarian and made it into a tandem BMX cruiser. Yeah! Crazy. This bike is wild looking. I love it when people step out the box and do some really creative stuff and submit it to bike of the day. And this right here is a great example of some of the stuff that I'm definitely looking to feature on bike of the day. Of course, you know the black and yellow colorway is always gonna pop, and those gumwall tires go right with it real nice. You have the yellow and black grips on there. And yeah, man, this bike is really dope. So let's see what David had to say about this build. David said, "We built this one up as a tribute to the original 1978 Torca tandem and to our heroes Eddie King and Mike Aguilera. Torca to the max." So I'm sure getting the parts of this bike had to be really interesting because you had to get double of some of the parts because you have a whole half of a bike behind the bike. So you gotta have to double up on the seat, on the grips, on the cranks, on the pedals and stuff like that. So let's see what he got on this bike. So of course we have the 2025 Torca 26-inch Barbarian 2 tandem. The forks are Torca Barbarian 2 Chromo. And right here you have the Maxxis DTH tires right here, and they look real sweet. I'm loving the gum wall. The S&M 26 COVID Cruiser wheel set. He's got the Supercross flat 6 bars on the front and also in the back. The front stem is a Torca Ultra 1 1/8, and the rear stem on this bike is a Torca Ultra 6 22.2 millimeter quill stem with the custom tandem stoker. I think that's what this is, the custom tandem stoker. Real interesting setup right here, and also check out the dual top tube. Whoa. Crazy. You got a Speedline headset on here, and you can also see the top cap and a better look at the Torca stem right here. 2 pairs of Oakley B1B grips in that black and yellow colorway. He's got 3 chain rings on here, and they're all BMX Guru 36 tooth chain rings. He got the Speedline ultra thin pedals, 2 pairs of Redline flight cranks, 175 millimeter Speedline Elite brake lever, and he has 2 Speedline Carrera seats on the bike. Alright, the rating on this bike is, the color is an 8.72, originality 9.04, parts 8.72, overall style 8.93, giving it a total overall rating score of an 8.85. There's 9 total rating scores on this bike, and the latest 2 came from Nate, who gave it all 10s across the board, and Roy Washington Jr., who gave it a 7.61. 10 people thought the bike was dope, and 2 people laughed, 2 people loved it, and you got 2 people that said, oh snap. And you also have 12 likes on this bike and 7 comments on this bike. So this bike has been getting a lot of reaction from the people. And yeah, it's number 2 on the list. Even though it didn't win Bike of the Month, there's also Bike of the Year that's coming up. So if you haven't rated this bike yet, definitely come back to sugarcane.com and give it a rating. All right, y'all. So coming in first place, the number 1 bike of April 2025 is a 2024 S&M Steel Panther in that nice pink and polished and black and white color scheme. This bike was sent in by Roger Gould, who's also an alumni of the Sugarcane Bike Fest. So shout out to Roger for participating in the Bike Fest back in the day, and also for submitting this awesome S&M build right here. Roger said Pink Panther and Hollywood Mike Miranda's Pink Hutch was his inspiration for this build, and I can understand that because I was a fan of both as well, Pink Panther and Mike Miranda. Alright, so let's just cut to it. We have the S&M Steel Panther frame, and we also have the S&M race bars. So most of the bikes on this list had S&M bars. We had the slam bars, we had the credence bars, now we have the race bars. So it's a lot of S&M bar activity going on this episode. We also have the S&M race stem on here, S&M dub fork. This is the S&M Racing dub fork. Got the ODI Vans lock-on grips, ODI linear slick brake cable, Paul Motolite brakes, Avian carbon brake pads. You got the Onyx SS rear hub, Maxxis DTH tires, Carbone Cartel rims. I'm liking the pinstripe white going between the name and the branding here. I think it's a pretty cool added detail to these wheels. The wheels are laced with CX Ray spokes with alloy nipples, 20mm Onyx helium front hub. There's also a Chris King bottom bracket on this bike, but unfortunately I didn't get a picture of it. You got the polished Behringer cranks. Then you also have the Renan 4-bolt chainring that's polished as well. I've never seen a Renan chainring polished before, and it looks real dope along with the Behringer cranks. He also has titanium Renan chainring bolts on here. He's got a really cool Shadow Race chain. It's a half-link chain. He's got a Hope quick release C-post clamp, an S&M Long Johnson pivotal post, and the S&M Slim pivotal seat. Overall color score is an 8.82. Originality is a 9. Parts is a 9.08. Overall style 9.04, giving this bike a total overall rating score of an 8.99. 11 people came and gave this bike a rating. You got one from Kyle Peters, who gave it a 9.81, and then you have Cam, who gave it a 9.25. Also 7 people who thought it was dope, 9 people who loved it, and 3 people who were like, oh snap. Then you also had 16 people who gave this bike a thumbs up. 3 people gave this bike a comment. Actually 2 people gave this bike a comment, and I gave one of them a reply. Brian Compton said, this is definitely a tight bike. I already dig when people think outside the realm of accepting what already is and take something and make it unique, different, and theirs. This is a great example of just that. Super fly. So I definitely gonna give him a like on that, and I'm also gonna reply real time with word. Gotta say word up. All right, so. And then you also had a comment by Roy Washington Jr. who said, this S&M Pink Panther build is so dope. This is what I love about BMX, the originality in color and components, which makes this race machine very special. The S&M parts complement this vessel to the fullest. All right, y'all, so that is it. The 5 bikes that were featured on Bike of the Month in April 2025. You already know May has already started, so I'm looking to get some more bikes in to feature on the site. Only got 1 so far, so I definitely need to get some more. And once again, whatever bikes you see here, if you want to give them a rating, show if you like or not like the bike, or whatever you think about the bike, definitely put your rating and your opinion in as well, because feedback is always good to look at. So let's do that. All right, and if you have a bike that you want to submit, I have a link in the description. You can submit any BMX of any type, and also dirt jumpers. So it's Crazy Out Kane, sugarcane.com, CACTV, and I'm out. Back to you, Billy.